This is amazing. And once again, these are actors on the world stage, okay? Big time actors. I'm going to prove it again that this is just a script and these are roles that are being played by these characters. They say a Wisconsin woman in 2014, Slender Man stabbing, is missing after walking away from a group home, okay?
This morning, the search now over for 22-year-old Morgan Geyser, the
So I guess they found her.
woman at the center of the Slender Man stabbing case. Geyser was taken into custody in Illinois after police in Madison, Wisconsin say she cut off her ankle monitoring bracelet and escaped from a group home Saturday night. Police overnight confirming she was found at a truck stop 25 miles south of Chicago with another person who was also detained. Her lawyer made this plea while she was on the run.
Do not continue to remain on the run like this. It is not in your best interest to handle this matter that way.
Back in 2014, Geyser and another girl, Anissa Wire, both 12 at the time, lured their classmate Peyton Leitner into the woods, where Geyser stabbed Leitner 19 times to impress a faceless, fictional online character known as Slender Man. Leitner survived the attack, and Geyser pleaded guilty, saying this in court in 2018.
Ms. Geyser, would you like to say anything?
I just want to let Bella and her family know I'm sorry. I never meant this to happen.
She was found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect and was sentenced to up to 40 years in a psychiatric institution. But earlier this year, over the objection of prosecutors, a judge cleared the way for her supervised release. Prosecutors claimed Geyser had, quote, violent communication with a man outside the facility and had read a book with themes of sexual sadism and murder. But 3 psychologists testified she was ready for the move. Leitner told our David Muir this in 2019.
I still sleep with like a broken pair of scissors underneath the pillow next to me because just in case.
We're expecting to learn more today about the person Geyser was with when she was detained last night and what happens next for her.
Oh, brother. So a lot going on here. You know, they talk about mental health or whatever, right? The Slender Man phenomenon, a modern folklore born from internet forums in 2009, depicting a tall, faceless figure in a suit who stalks and torments victims, often children, leading them to insanity or disappearance. This is a lot of symbolism going on here. So it makes me think that it's like not modern folklore. It makes me think that it's actually like a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe these, maybe the people involved here, that happened to them. You know what I'm saying? And they're just kind of giving the truth out with half truths along with this story. It even says right there, it rapidly evolved into a widespread internet subculture through collaborative storytelling. You see that? Isn't that interesting? So yeah, it makes me think that there is a character that does that out there. And they're letting us know, they're getting the truth to us, but through this story. That's what they're making me think. Games and fan art becoming a popular example of contemporary mythology and a source of concern after these 2 girls cited the creature as inspiration for, and this was a 2014 stabbing, okay? Right? And look, it's trending right now, and yesterday was Ted Bundy's birthday. Serial killer. Right? Who would kill young ladies. So And you know what? This Morgan Geyser character, she was found in Illinois. Remember, I connected Ted Bundy to Al Bundy, Married to Children, who Ed O'Neill played. And remember, Al Bundy and his that show, Married to Children, was based out of Chicago. That's what they said during the show, anyways, that they were in Chicago, Illinois, and that's Illinois, right? So authorities say Geyser and her friend Anissa Wire, also 12, lured their classmate Peyton Leutner to a suburban Milwaukee park after a sleepover. Geyser stabbed Lettner more than a dozen times. So they're both 12 years old, and then they stab Peyton more than 12 times. While Weir egged her on, Lettner barely survived. You could tell by looking at these characters too that, in my opinion, these are actors because they appear like they can pull off multiple looks, don't they? And this one on the left, she like I saw her with long hair too, and it's like I can't even really tell them apart at certain times. I'm like, oh, which one's which? You see that? So it makes me think they kind of like are actors, like they can just play different roles. That's what that makes me think. You know what I'm saying? But the girls later told investigators that they attacked Lettner, and we haven't even got into like my evidence of how this is a script yet. Okay, so you could say this is just kind of like my opinion, and then I'm going to give you some undeniable stuff, and it's like, dude, there's no way this is real. The girls later told investigators that they attacked Lettner to earn the right to be a Slender Man's servant. This fictional, like, online, like, phenomenon meme character or whatever. They didn't. They feared he'd harm their families if they didn't follow through. I wonder what would happen if these were guys, right? Who stabbed this victim, if they would be going with the whole like mental illness narrative and all of that, right? I'm just curious. Slender Man was created online by Eric Knudsen. Man, these names are brutal, man. Knudsen. In 2009, as a mysterious figure photo edited into everyday images of children at play, he grew into a popular boogeyman appearing in video games, online stories, and a 2018 movie. The friend, Anissa, pleaded guilty to attempted second degree intentional homicide. She was also sent to the psychiatric center and granted release in 2021. Look at how amazing this is. Morgan Geyser. So, like, she escapes this group home or whatever. She's found in Illinois. They say her friend was released in 21, so I'm guessing her friend was just like straight up on the outs, I guess. Morgan Geyser 177, and it's a 177-day span from the anniversary of the stabbing to this escape Sunday. Check that out. So she escapes Sunday, and it's a 177-day span from the anniversary of the stabbing to the escape. And then her name equals 177. And I forgot to put, let's go down right here. And remember, the stabbing was in 21. Authorities said Sunday she cut off electric monitoring device and left a group home. You see that? Now, this is amazing, okay? The, the victim is Peyton Lettner. Look at this, 165. Slender Man, 165. Look, that's Morgan Geyser's birthday, the 16th day of the 5th month. 165. Why would we need to know her birthday? You see that? Isn't that weird? Why would we need to? Why would your birthday be on the world stage? Like, you're not a celebrity. Isn't that weird? And I didn't see another birthday with the other character right there. Her friend or whatever. I'll see. Maybe it'll pop up. And look, her birthday is right before the stabbing. Ooh, she does have a birthday. Her birthday was the other day. Her birthday was the other day. And again, I can't even really tell these two apart. If they do their hair different. You know what I'm saying? Actors. Look at this. Her birthday was the other day. November 10th. Isn't that amazing? And then Morgan, the other one, 165, the 16th day of the 5th month. And then the victim's name equals 165 and Slender Man equals 165. Look at the other connections. These numbers hit in the Ted Bundy It's Your Birthday breakdown too. And that syncs up with this big time, you know? Look at Homicide 66, Stab 66, Morgan Geyser 66, Peyton Lettner along with that 165. You get 60 like Morgan Geyser. And then this is her birthday, Morgan? That's the victim up there with the bigger picture, Peyton. Stab even equals 6. Look at that. Remember, stabbing has 2 B's, which look like 2 6s as well. This connects to the Mark Sanchez stabbing. Remember, he wore 6 on his jersey. Former New York Jet. Stab wounds equals 60, like 6. He was stabbed in Indianapolis. Indianapolis equals 60, like 6. Now look, this is where this gets to be completely undeniable here. You see, I pulled this from that breakdown with Mark Sanchez. He got stabbed in this confrontation. It was like some guy in a truck, like he wanted him to move or something to that effect. Trending. And now this is an actual celebrity. Look at his full name, Mark Travis John Sanchez, 123. The stabbing occurred around 12:30, like 123. In Indianapolis, 123. Anissa Weir equals 123. So you got both of these. You got Anissa and you got Morgan. And they both sync up. The victim in this stabbing's name is Peyton Lettner. You see her right there? Look, her name is like Peyton Manning, who has a huge connection with Mark Sanchez. And he played for the Indianapolis Colts, and Mark Sanchez got stabbed in Indianapolis. Come on, man. This stuff is all scripted. This stuff is all scripted. Peyton Manning has the Peyton, right? Look at this, man. So you get Peyton Manning, Mark Sanchez. Sanchez S like stabbed. Slender Man S like stabbed. You see that? No, I think there's more S's. I just I just don't have. I just can't think of them at the moment. But anyways, wow, right? You can't look at that. You can't deny that. Look at those numbers that connect. So you get stabbing stories, and you're gonna. It's like you're basically gonna see these numbers repeat. With those 60s as well, remember 6 starts with the letter S when you spell it out. 6, Stab, Sanchez, Slender Man. Isn't that amazing? Sanchez was stabbed in downtown Indianapolis, and you get that Peyton Manning connection, and then you get this victim who survived named Peyton. Isn't that wild? Yes, Mark Sanchez was connected to Peyton Manning in the NFL. Sanchez was the quarterback who was signed by the Broncos to compete for the starting job after Peyton Manning retired. Mark Sanchez led the Jets to a win over Peyton Manning and the Colts in the 2010 AFC wildcard game. And there's the S's again. Remember, S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. Stab, Slender Man, Sanchez. Peyton Lettner was stabbed 19 times back in 2014. Even Mark Sanchez equals 119, like 19. He joined the Washington Commanders even on 11/19, like 19, and the anniversary of that day was a few days ago. Remember, this character right here, birthday was November 10th recently. And then the other one, the 16th day of the 5th month, when Slender Man and Peyton Lettner equal 165. Come on. And that birthday, um, 15 days before the stabbing? Why would these characters have birthdays online on like world stage birthdays? Does that make sense? Like they're celebrities? I'm telling you, these have to be actors playing roles. And if there was a victim here and this happened, then there's shadiness behind it. It's orchestrated somehow. Notice Manning's got that 18 on his jersey. That connects here in a bit. You know, and you even get more connections here. Homicide, Morgan Geyser, Stab, Slender Man, all equal 42. Wow, Ted Bundy died at age 42. Shout out to Richard West for reminding me of that in the comments, or else I wouldn't have remembered. Ted Bundy died at age 42, and this was trending on his birthday. Serial killer Ted Bundy. That's amazing. You could go down that more Ted Bundy stuff and you can catch more connections. That's amazing. So I want you to see Morgan Geyser. I put the arrow right there. I'm assuming that one's her, but I guess I can't guarantee that. I pointed out Morgan wrote this article, ex-Arizona Attorney General lawyer allegedly sold stolen mail, worked while in rehab. I did that story. Morgan, look, the story by Morgan Fisher, and it's amazing. I pointed that out, and now we get another Morgan who is trending with this escape from this group home, and I guess they found her or whatever. And I pointed out Mike Morgan, and how he was a pitcher for the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees after the 2001 World Series, right? And that was 9/11, right? Right after 9/11, or the 11th day of the ninth month, Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in the World Series. You get Morgan, and then that connects with the 119s right there. And one of these, was it her? I think it was her, born in 2001. I can't remember Morgan's birth year at the moment, but that's interesting because that World Series was in 2001 with that Morgan connection. So it's like, and again, Slender Man, modern folklore born from internet forums in 2009, depicting a tall, faceless figure in a suit who stalks and torments victims, often children, leading them to insanity or disappearance. Look at the movie released. Remember, Peyton Manning had the 18 on his jersey. The movie released the 10th day, and they make a movie of it. That's how you know that this stuff is staged. They're going to make a movie off of it. Come on. These are stories, man. But Manning had the 18 on his jersey. Look, the 10th day of the 8th month is like 18. In the year 2018, this movie released in the United States, Slender Man. I don't know if they based it off of the supposed true story of the stabbing. I'm not sure. It's probably, maybe, right? Wisconsin 118. Group home 118. Come on, right? This is a Wisconsin woman. Morgan Geyser escapes from a group home. Wisconsin group home 118, like 18. Even look at Wisconsin 125 and 55, like group home. Wow.
Police in Wisconsin say a young woman at the center of the Slender Man stabbing case is now on the run. The Madison Police Department says Morgan Geyser cut off her ankle monitor and left a group home Saturday night. In 2014, Geyser and another child were accused of trying to kill their friend in an attempt to please an online character called Slender Man. All of them were 12 years old at the time. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is following the story for us. Joining us now, Jacqueline, what do we know about how all of this unfolded?
Hey, Ike, so the Madison Police Department saying she cut off her monitoring bracelet, leaving that group home last night. She was last seen with an adult acquaintance around 8 p.m. So police releasing this image of Geyser from disappearance, prompting a manhunt. The public incredibly concerned given the violent nature of her previous conviction. Police asking the public to call 911 if they see her. Ike.
Jacqueline, what are we hearing now from the victim's family?
Yeah, we just got this statement a minute ago. So the family of Peyton Leutner and her family, they say they're aware of the most recent situation regarding Morgan. Peyton and her family are safe. They're working closely with law enforcement to ensure their continued safety, and the family thanking all of the law enforcement entities involved in trying to apprehend Morgan. So we got that from Steve Lyons, who is a spokesperson for the Leutner family. Ike.
And Jacqueline, Morgan Geyser spent more than a decade in a mental hospital after she was found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. She was then transferred into this supervised facility earlier this year, but there were also some objections to that. Is that right?
That's right. So back in July, a judge approved the plan to move her from a mental hospital to that supervised facility. But earlier this year, prosecutors raised concerns alleging she had violent communication with a man outside the facility and read a book in the facility with themes of sexual sadism and murder. Just a reminder, Ike, she and another girl were 12 years old at the time when they stabbed a classmate 19 times in 2014 to please the fictional character Slender Man. She pleaded guilty to first-degree attempted intentional homicide.
All right, Jacqueline Lee, thank you for that update.
The world is a stage, okay? The world is a complete stage. Look at that thumbnail I made right there. And again, these characters can play multiple roles too. You could tell they switch up their hair, they remove the glasses. We don't know if, even this character Peyton here, you know what I'm saying? There's enough. I showed enough proof there, all facts, that this is orchestrated by the numbers somehow. Okay, even Ted Bundy died January 24, 124. Look at stabbing 142, same numbers. And Anissa Weir 123. I connected with Sanchez, former football player. That's one number before 124. Ted Bundy died 124 January 24. Okay, without even like trying, you could go a little bit further and you can find these other connections. I mentioned there was 66 connected in that Ted Bundy. This is trending on his birthday, serial killer Ted Bundy. You could go a little bit deeper and you can find, and remember, he died at age 42, stabbed 42, Slender Man 42, and there was some other 42s in there. You can go a little bit further and connect that even more if you wanted to. Oh, and look, the stabbing was on the day leaving 214 days. So 142, 214, and then Ted Bundy dying 124. I have highlighted there. Remember, the stabbing was 15 days after Morgan Kaiser's birthday. The stabbing was on the 151st day. Homicide equals 150. Look how close that is. Wow, right? So was it like a I think it was was it like attempted homicide or what? Because the victim survived. Oh, attempted first degree intentional homicide. Yeah, the victim survived. Amazing. Okay, so what do you think? I mean, I'm comfortable saying that was a script. Okay, you can't say that's just me giving false information just because the mainstream news and the world wants us to think it's real. They can give you the story if they want, and yeah, it sounds good, right? But look at all of the stuff that I pointed out. You can't deny this stuff, okay? Even this was in 2014. We've had a lot of 104 and 14 popping up lately as well that I didn't even go into with other trending stories. Wisconsin woman in 2014 Slender Man stabbing is missing after walking away from group home. I'll see you in the next video.